Alert as a powerful nor'easter is about to hit our area hard this weekend. That means heavy rain, damaging winds, and coastal flooding. As we say, thank you for joining us for the PIX11 News at 4. I'm Erin LaFoe.
And I'm Candace Gibson. The storm is not here quite yet, but it's well on its way. In fact, New Jersey already declaring a state of emergency starting tomorrow evening.
Yeah, PIX11 has live team coverage of the storm and how the tri-state is preparing for it all. James Ford is live in Seabright, and meteorologist Mike Masco is also along the Jersey Shore in Asbury Park.
But let's begin right here with meteorologist Chris Cimino, who's here in studio with the very latest on the timing of this storm. Has it formed as yet?
It's just beginning to show some development off the southeast coast. The question is going to be, does their energy to the north meet this storm, and when does that happen? That's the forecasting challenge, but we'll explain as we go through the afternoon. There's a lot to get through here. You can see some clouds starting to drift towards us. The wind is turning to the east and southeast. That's the leading edge of the storm system off to the south. It's not terribly impressive just yet, but you can still see a fair amount of moisture now developing off the southeast coast of South Carolina. Eventually, this is going to be allowed to drift northward as high pressure that's been over us moves east. A new high is going to move into the north, though, and that's where the wind conditions are going to really ramp up, because you've got a low pressure developing here, and then you have strong high pressure developing to the north. So we're fine tonight. Tomorrow during the day, there'll be more clouds around. You may run into a few of these, some light sprinkles. This is mainly due to the onshore flow, a few light showers, maybe a little drizzle. That's really not associated with the storm. That's just the condition of these onshore winds. In the afternoon, pretty much same scenario. Then as we get to Saturday night, later at night, this is the leading edge of the actual storm itself and the first push of shower activity. But some of the models now are disagreeing a little bit on the timing. That's the main forecasting challenge here. You can see the rain starts to push in on Sunday. 3:30, still a little reluctant to make a move, but there's plenty of it sitting off to the south, and then it does start to push towards us, and that's going to be Sunday night into Monday. This is through Monday afternoon. The other aspect of this, keep in mind, there's going to be very strong gusty winds throughout. We could start to see winds ramp up to 50 miles per hour higher in gusts along the coast. This is another model suggesting, again, it looks like it's going to stay wet probably into maybe even early part of Tuesday. So we've got wind, we've got rain, but we've got big issues and big threats along the coast. Mike Masco is standing by with more on that.
Yeah, and Chris, I think this is going to be a memorable storm down the Jersey Shore, south-facing shore of Long Island as we go into the weekend. We'll start to feel the winds pick up tomorrow afternoon, and then it goes gangbusters as we head into Sunday. Let's go to the maps. National Weather Service has been out ahead of this storm for the last 24 hours. We have a high wind watch in effect for the Jersey Shore, south-facing shore, all the way out towards Montauk in Suffolk County. The advisement has been sustained winds at 25 to 40 with gusts to 60. Now, Chris mentioned it's all about intensity with this storm. If we take the lower end intensity, let's say the phase doesn't come together perfectly, we'll take lower end numbers. It's not like this storm misses the tri-state, but it's intensity that's still in question and a lot of fluidity to this forecast as we move into time and over the weekend. Actually being down the boardwalk, people are asking what storm, so it's good that we're out down here trying to get the word out that there is a pretty significant storm headed up the coast. Coastal flood watch for good reason. It's a push of southeast to east wind over the next 48 to 72 hours. That's a long duration of inundation of salt water, and for that reason, that's your coastal flood watch. If that gets upgraded, it would be a coastal flood warning. That means coastal flood conditions were imminent or happening, and we do anticipate that happening for Saturday. The big story is the wind gusts, and it's not much fanfare tomorrow morning, but you'll start to notice this ramp up by the afternoon on Saturday. Everybody on the shoreline will get into those 40, 50 mile per hour winds. Coming back out live, the question becomes, does it phase perfectly? Does it have that enough upper level energy to go gangbusters and give us those 60 plus mile per hour winds? That's going to dictate damage. That's going to dictate coastal flooding, and we're going to be here all evening long. We'll break out the aspects of the high tidal cycles. I think there's going to be 3 very important high tides from, say, the Rockaways down towards Point Pleasant Beach. We'll detail that coming up in just a little bit. Guys, what's back to you?
Quite a tricky forecast indeed for you guys over the next couple of days. We're going to keep watching that. In the meantime, that state of emergency set to go into effect in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's mainly because coastal communities are vulnerable to everything this storm could bring, including, of course, high tides. Our James Ford rounds out our team coverage live down at the shore in Seabright. James.
Right, Seabright, one of the many coastal communities that takes a 1-2 punch from the ocean and from the intracoastal waterway. Yeah, all that kind of flooding is why these are just some of the many, many items of equipment being readied for the worst. One after another, work crews filled sandbags where there's plenty of sand. On the beach, the same beach that's at risk of flooding over the holiday weekend. You see the uniforms. Emergency management is getting ready for what could be a serious emergency.
4 high tide cycles, 2 on Sunday and 2 on Monday. That'll be most concerning to us because that will put pressure on the back bays and rivers here.
The sheriff talks about conditions that could lead to this equipment that's being readied for high water having to be used in flooding, including possible rescues by pontoon boat and evacuation by high, heavy trucks. And this is by no means the only place preparing.
These blue tarps are being purchased more quickly than normal.
The hardware store manager talks about how homeowners and contractors are assuming there will be a lot of damage.
You clean up as fast as you could, build back.
You see how flags and wind meters are moving now. That's expected to pick up severely. With gusts up to 60 miles an hour on Sunday, residents are being told to secure anything that could blow around, from patio furniture to Halloween decorations. Streets like this near the water are where Alice Gaffney has her restaurant and where the flood risk may be greatest.
You never know. It's been close a few times, so they're saying this could be bad.
And that could include high winds, as we've been saying, and that could affect power lines. The local utilities here on the shore say they are ready for such an emergency, but many people here hoping that does not happen. We'll talk more about that risk coming up on the PIX11 News at 5 o'clock. Right now, reporting live from Seabright, New Jersey, I'm James Ford, PIX11 News.
All right, thank you, James. And our coverage of this nor'easter doesn't stop here. Chris and Mike will be back with more updates throughout the hour. And at 4:15, we'll be joined live by the Commissioner of Emergency Management to see how New York City is preparing for this storm.
And then at 4:30, we'll speak with the Jones Beach Parks Director for a look at what's being done to prepare and protect the South Shore from possible severe coastal flooding. You can also find the very latest updates anytime on PIX11.com and streaming on PIX11 Plus.